And the county clerk has to approve the language of that as well. So they get the final check. We would have to come back, and if the clerk said, no, you can't do this on the ballot, then we have to come back and ratify the language that the clerk requires. I don't see any problem, but, you know,
My concern is we have this list here that was put in the minutes last time, the street program invitation. We have 14 years out to finish these road projects. I've lived in Park Hills for over 11 years, and when I moved in, before I even bought the property, my street was supposed to be done the next year. It's been 11 years, it has not been done.
Albert, we weren't in power.
I understand. Hear me out, Don.
Okay.
Hear me out. The problem I have is for 11 years, people like myself have been paying their road tax and sitting there paying, at home paying. Their streets haven't got completed yet. We're sitting here, we've sat in meetings and meetings and meetings saying we don't have the funds to do it. But here we are, we're going to reduce our funds even though we don't have the funds. In my eyes, my little research, when I recall too, when we voted on the fire truck, this 80 cents was to come out for a 5-year period and then go back into the road fund. It was just, hey, we're borrowing money from this road fund for 5 years. It's going to push us back a couple years on the road projects. My concern is what I would like to see is quantify these numbers. You know, we got an end date of 2026, but I want some hard numbers to that saying, hey, this is the amount of money we have come in. We should be able to get all these done by then. Or say, hey, we need X. You know, right now we're just making this arbitrary. It's great to say, hey, here's 80 cents back to the tax dollar for 1,000, but we might only be able to give them 40 cents to meet our goal of 2026. But this list here, just speaking from experience, you know, Jackson Road is down to 2023. I will tell you, in 1999 when I bought that lot, you know, it was going to be done. I tore down, you talk about expensive trees, I took out a big tree I didn't want to take out. And the reason why is like, we're gonna make you take it out later.
Who told you that, Robert?
It was, I think I came to city council. And when I bought the lot, because there was some things I had to get some variances.
But the list you're referring to,
Is the,
I know, but Jay, that list was prepared by you for some time, right? I mean, that's not a list that this council did, your street agenda here.
The infrastructure committee has kind of run that list and prioritized run that list.
So that list has been in existence for how long?
8 or 10 years maybe.
Okay.
6 or 8 years.
But did you ever put quantified numbers to this?
Yeah, hopefully everybody understands that to my knowledge, no one has ever gone through and said, hey, this project is going to cost us $300,000, this one's $400,000, and come up with numbers to say it's going to get us to 2026.
Well,
To
how
my knowledge,
can
that's
you do
never been
that
done.
when you are projecting that far out? How can you assign
With
cost?
inflation calculations on it. It's a guesstimate, but it's a guesstimate. But you at least have something to go on. You know, how do you know?
Who put the years on there? You did? Okay.
I amended it.
You amended it. How did you determine the year skip? Just
I took 3 more years on each one of those lines and extended it down.
When we bought the fire truck and this fund?
No, I just did this for this year.
Oh, this year you did it, okay. Because it was
Albert
further up.
asked if we could get a list
It
back.
was
to the
further
list
up here.
and projected things, and I did that. And even he told me, Jay even told me, he says, you may have to go to 2030 on that list and get all this done in the time that you're talking about with the money. I said, well, he goes, so I just went ahead and arbitrarily used 3 years on each one of the ones that were there before and projected them down 3 years more.
what I'm saying, that's kind of my, as a person and talking to other residents at Trolley Park this weekend, I brought it up, is what's your opinion? You know, one of the things that got thrown up to me was, it's kind of like in Ohio, the school board. You know, with school levies and stuff. When they go to vote for a school levy, the people that don't have kids anymore, they don't want it. When the kids that are in school, they want it. You know, obviously, my fear is yeah, everyone wants to save a few dollars, and I'm fine with that, but there's been a lot of residents here that paid money to get their street over time, and when now it's their time, we're gonna reduce this, when, you know, no one's sat here, if I had a piece of paper saying, yes, quantitatively, these numbers work, here's a good estimate, you know, what we think, it doesn't have to be accurate, it could be 80% accurate, but at least we have numbers saying, this is when we think, it's not arbitrarily saying, hey, we think we're adding 3 more years, it's coming up with, you know, it's coming up with that hard number, and that's my fear. Maybe, you know, my question is, maybe we end up only giving them 40 cents. I think people would be happy with that. You know, people obviously would be happy with 80 cents. But when I voted for the fire truck, this is coming out for 5 years, it's gonna prolong a couple of years, and then it's gonna go back. And now we're striking that. And we sat here in the infrastructure meetings and, you know, we could not do streets. We can't do streets at the rate, you know, what rate can we do them at?
Albert, are you for or are you against reducing this tax?
I'm against reducing the tax right now until we can put quantitative numbers saying, how can we meet these goals? It might be like Skip said. You might come back and tell me we can do it at 2030, and I might be fine with that. But I wanna know that it's not,
Albert, what in your mind would prevent a future administration from doing exactly what happened with the fire truck?
exactly what happened with the fire truck. Help me out.
Taking a chunk of that road tax and say, well, now we need this.
Well, they gotta vote on it.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't that affect all your numbers?
Well, like I said, hypothetically, all we're doing is using years. Instead of money talks, you know, there's not money there, we can't do it. You know, it doesn't matter the years, if the money's not there, we can't do it.
Right, you see my point.
I see your point, but they had to go to the voters to do that.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, we went to the voters, and they approved this way, and now we're going back to the voters, that half of them they have their streets completed. There's still 14, there are actually 22 projects on here.
But
There's
it's up
still,
to that's the whole point of this, is to go back to the voters and say, what do you wanna do? And they're all of us are taxpayers, all of us know, and my estimates of what monies are coming in every year, at the $1.55, at the $1.55 a thousand, if the money comes in every year, these streets are gonna get done pretty much in what this says. I thought actually, you know, on
Kathy?
the first plan.
Hey,
Just as a-
excuse me, do not interrupt council when they're in discussion.
I'm sorry.
Please. Go ahead, Kathy.
Anyway, if it went out to the voters, they're the ones paying taxes, they're the ones that have their streets not done or whatever, and I think if they vote for to leave it alone, then the voters have spoken. But I think it should go out to the vote for the people to decide that. Because we have this, there's no sunset clause in it, this has, been going on since I've been here, and I was told it's 10 years, it's 15 years, or whatever, and now there's no end that I saw, there was no.
take your.
So now it was pulled, 80 cents was pulled off to do this other, and in line with another, city that has $1.55, it's plenty to get your streets done. I mean, it's more than enough.
And then show me those numbers, you know?
One thing that, I mean, you gave me some numbers, and you said, an average of 100,000, 130,000 per
Per
street.
street,
Well,
yeah. The
My
smaller,
street, my street, they did half the street.
right, well, the
Almost,
larger
probably
ones would.
2/3 of the street.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the sewer was, say the sewer was 200,000, that's 450,000 was Lawton alone.
Well, extra right now, extra right now is what, 200 and something? 230?
16,000 dollars.
16,000. So,
And we get reimbursed, it's less than what.
Was it be with the other
Yeah, it's
buses?
less-
what
less
is
than
it
being
after?
expected.
200.
So my example to you, Kathy, is this, all right? You're a taxpayer, all right? Obviously, you're pro to put this on the ballot. If extra wasn't done right now, if we weren't doing extra, I think you would change your opinion.
No, I wouldn't.
I
don't
wouldn't
live on
either.
Exeter.
I wouldn't
But-
either.
Born in your
And I
house.
would not change my
No,
opinion.
I wouldn't either.
I've lived here a
I've
long
paid this
time,
tax since the inception, I've lived here 34 years.
and I think it's extremely high, 235,000, I thought, and I think that people should vote for it. And my reasoning is that with the $1.55 and the prices we have now, we can get a lot done.
And home values will continue to increase as
And I
time
know
moves
in my
forward.
business, I see it a lot more than if you're not in this business, is the effects it has on a home buyer buying in this area.
Per thousand.
I hear it all the time. They take one look at that tax rate and they're, you think this is Covington, and, you know, and they go off, so, and move on to another area.
I mean,
That's
you have the same.
$1.55 is plenty, and I think it should go out to the voters, and
Skip.
that's.
Close debate on this one and give it, take a vote, yes or no.
There's some
I would-
questions.
I would like-
They're not permitted to talk.
I just
while
want to
we're in
make a
session.
request, because I agree with Kathy. I mean,
Ma'am, will you please, council is in session, and we need to vote, please.
Don, we're open discussion. All night we ask questions.
Albert, I am the mayor of this city, I am in charge here, and my decision is made that I'm in charge. And it's time for a vote, he's a council member, he asked for a vote. Now, after we vote, I will ask those ladies if they have something to say. Okay,
Well,
now you
I'm-
wanna run the meeting and take my seat, and I'll take yours?
Go ahead, Albert, go ahead.
My thing is, I'm a person for the residents. I'm here for the residents. I'm the voice of
I
the
have,
residents.
I have for movement on this, to go to the vote.
Skip,
Close debate.
Skip, can you honor me this thing, let Mr.
I
McAfee
will
and
tell you what, I understand what they're saying, talking about, but at the same time, you gotta realize we have ordinance that said they can't even talk.
I understand that, but did you not want this to be the voice for the residents?
It also ran a vote just like you did for the ordinance that says you don't talk for this thing.
You know what?
You ran on transparency, I believe.
I have a motion and a second on the floor.
We're so confused now, let's just
Okay.
accomplish our
Let's
vote.
get back to
Then we
this.
can talk.
I don't want to close the discussion right now,
Okay.
okay? I'd like to see the tax decrease, but I'd like to also make sure that we can accommodate these people. I think over the past 14 months, we've headed down the direction of patch and overlay, and I think we need to get on with these streets. And 2 meetings ago, and I said something to Pam earlier, 2 meetings ago, no, Skip, 2 meetings ago, you made a decree that we spend no money on engineering until Exeter Drive's done. But that puts us another year back.
No, I didn't say that.
You did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Pull it up.
Skip just gave me a thing from, Jay about, Old State and
Right,
coming
well,
down.
no, I
to
know
there.
that, but that was after the infrastructure meeting I thought was very productive,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that. But the meeting prior to that, we were, when, we're talking about overlaying Amsterdam and all this kind of thing.
Monty, I've been paying the tax since it was,
I know, I
and
still am.
but you do get your road fixed. I didn't.
I
And
didn't,
when you
yeah.
don't make any repairs to a road after it gets sawn up by the gas company,
Mhm.
sawn up by the water company, sawn up by SD1, people can't drive on their roads. You have to not only do the full repair of streets, you have to make it accessible. People have to be able to get home, which means in the interim, some people do have mill and overlay. That doesn't mean
No,
that's
no,
the
I know,
course,
I
it's
know
just
that.
like a necessary
I just
repair.
don't want that to be.
that's not the norm, Monty. How many times do you drive up and down Amsterdam Road between the park and Montague a day? Or a week, let's say?
That probably.
Are you dodging the holes down through there now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we just need to get that
No, I know that.
blacktop on it. The main goal right now was Exeter. That was the next thing on the agenda.
But I think
Exeter
we need-
Drive, and we've got Old State Road to finish from Terrace to Arlington. We've got that to do. We've got to put
So are we
in,
working on, have we now given Jay the authority to go ahead with the design?
you,
Not just
On the
design.
state?
Just the topo.
just a
He's
topo.
gonna take all of the grades, the elevations, and
Okay.
we're gonna meet with the
And then we're gonna
SD1 and the waterworks and do it.
Then we're gonna get the design.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a separate entity for
We
this.
have to keep this flow going so we can.
Here, you wanna read?
I agree.
Here,
We just talked about it.
here.
So can we get back to where we were, and or do you wanna discuss more, Monty, or?
I just,